What's a funny memory you have that if you told someone, they'd think you're lying? I was in elementary school, during recess, just kinda daydreaming and looking at some ravens flying overhead, when one of them suddenly took a nosedive, right into an open trash can. So of course I rush over there to check it out, but the raven was just gone out of nowhere. I was not the only pine who saw it though. Another kid came rushing over as well, and that's how I met my best friend for the next 4 years. Got stuck in a bank for the night. When the bank is closed, you can still get to the ATM thanks to a security door. Once inside, the door decided to stop working. No phone, no emergency button. Just waited here for hours till someone in the street saw me trough the glass and called someone. I once checked in at a restaurant and gave the hostess my name to hold my slot. She then asked for my last name since the person below shared my first name. When I told her my last name, she looked at me like I was lying. The person below had my first and last name. She laughed and introduced us, and we took a pic. I've never met someone with my same first and last name since. Before my husband and I were married, but had been dating for a long while, I was watching Portlandia and there's my husband on screen. Dumbfounded, I called him, and he casually said, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." An eagle came from my face as a child. I was about 8. I ducked, and it ended up grabbing my hair and taking some with it. I ran inside crying and told my mom. She didn't believe me, so I never told anyone else. I'm 22. I had a pet hummingbird as a kid. My mom found it injured on a sidewalk and nursed it back to health. It only had one eye and no depth perception, so we kept it inside. We'd let it buzz around the room, land on us, and all that jazz. My brother told his teacher about it in 3rd grade, and the teacher actually called my mom and was like, "Your son has made up a crazy story and insists it's real." Reality was we had a pet hummingbird, and that seemed crazy enough people didn't believe it. Back in middle school, I was walking back to class after lunch when someone chucked something down the hallway as hard as they could. My natural instinct was to jump up and catch it. It was a perfect catch, and not a single person saw. It was a mozzarella stick. I was walking on a hiking/biking trail when a woman rode past me on her bicycle. I yelled out, "Keep the pedal to the metal." Not 2 seconds later, I hear an awful metallic noise and turn to see the poor woman's pedal mechanism had fallen apart. She told me, "You shouldn't have said that." I apologized profusely and asked if she needed any help. Naturally, she didn't. Not from me anyway. I once showed up to a mate's house with a bacon and egg roll from Mac's. He jokingly asked, "Did you get me one?" I did, and without saying a word, I pulled it out of the bag and threw it to him. The wrapping dropped off in mid-air. He caught the burger one-handed. We both looked at each other in amazement and bit straight in. My sister entered a raffle to get a bike when she was younger, and there was someone with the exact same name there, although the last name was spelled differently. Her name was called, but the other girl got there first to take the bike. My mom found out that the one who had been drawn was actually my sister's name, but since the other girl already had it, she dropped it. Needless to say, my sister wasn't happy. Today, unrelated but funny, my cousin is now dating that other girl, 10-ish years later. A friend once called the wrong number, got the wrong house, and had the right person pick up. So, I was at work, replacing a modem for my boss. I'd removed the modem and connected a telephone to test that it had dial tone. Soon after, the phone rang. It didn't make much sense, because that phone line had only been used for outgoing calls from the computer. When I picked up, the person on the other line just said, "Hey man, you want to see a movie later?" I recognized the voice, too. It was a friend of mine. I was really confused for a second and said something like, "Josh, how did you get this number?" He said he called my home phone number. He must have misdialed my number and accidentally dialed the number for my boss's modem line at work. He called the wrong number, got the wrong house, and the right person picked up on a phone that had only been connected for 2 minutes in the past 2 years. The odds must be astronomical. It's just a weird coincidence that I'll always remember.